Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now I welcome the Prajwal Vasishtha ICT Academy Coordinator and his team. Welcome you, sir. I extend my heartfelt welcome to the staff members and my dear students for the session. Welcome you all. Now I request Sridhar Chakravarti, sir, to take over the session. Kindly, sir.
Thank you so much. Let me share my screen. Okay. You're able to see my screen, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. It's a great privilege to talk to all of you. Thank you very much, ma'am, for this fantastic opportunity and introduction. So, dear students and the esteemed faculty members, we are going to spend the next 1.5 hours discussing on one of the most important aspects of life. It is not only about education, it is not only about your employability and the career. When we talk of interpersonal skills, they are life skills. Because without these skills, it is very difficult to do well in life. Surviving is a different thing. I'm talking about doing well and growing. How do we do that? That is where these interpersonal skills come into play. Why? Because if we want to survive in the society, we should be able to work with all the other people. Some people may say, okay, I don't care about society. I am going to Himalayas and I am going to settle there, be a sannyasi. That's a different category. They need a different skill. Correct? They need an introspection skill. They need a lot of other things so that they can do that self-realization. We are not talking about them. We are talking about normal, simple human beings like you and me who would like to survive and thrive and grow in the society, living normal lives. So in this way, interpersonal skills become very, very important. I'm also going to touch upon employability skills, but the major focus is going to be on interpersonal skills as requested. And I am also going to talk about how we are going to develop each one of these skills. There's no point in just giving you a list of skills. Okay, you do this, do this, do this. It becomes more like a checklist. But how can you, because I believe most of you are in the first and second year of the college, you have a fantastic opportunity to develop these skills in the next couple of years. If you focus on doing certain things for the next 2-3 years, your next 2-3 decades are going to be fantastic. This is one of the important things which you must develop in your college during your graduation, because technical skills or domain skills, they just by reading books, you're not going to get. You need to practice them, and that is going to happen in the field. But more than that, there are a lot of other things which make you different in the job market as well as a professional. That is what we are going to focus on, how to develop these skills. Most importantly, hope all of you have got some notebooks and pens to make some notes. I am going to monitor the chat also. I will also be asking a few questions. Feel free to type it in the chat. And if you have got any question, feel free to keep typing in the chat. I will pick them up as and when required or towards the end. Don't wait for the Q&A session to ask questions. That's the message. Moving on. So what are the interpersonal skills? First one is courtesy. What is courtesy? It is the way we respond. It is the way we treat other people. Somebody comes, somebody new person is talking to you. He says, sir, I'm new here. Somebody is not able to hear me. My contact, unless either the ICT team or the ma'am who has introduced me confirm that this has to be a local issue, please address Bhuvan Gowda. Yeah, thank you. Right. Courtesy. So what is courtesy? You're going urgently. You are late for your class or something. Suddenly some stranger stops you on the road and asks you for a direction. That fellow is totally lost. He is new in the town. He doesn't know where to go. Now, how do you handle it? That's courtesy. You can say, hey, don't disturb me. One way of doing it. Or you spend too much time explaining all the steps he has to take to the goal. Or you point him in the right direction to the next step and then ask him to ask somebody else there. So that way you are managing yourself, your time, and you are also being kind to the other person. Courtesy is one of the very important skills that you must develop, because you never know who that person is. You never know what kind of a working relationship you are going to get with the other person. People always think, oh, it's okay, we will see. I don't have to worry about this person because this person is never going to teach me, or this person is never going to work with me. Life can be very, very tricky. Suddenly you may be put in a place where you are forced to work with the other person. What will you do then? That is where, unless until the other person is really, really a bad person, which you want to avoid, that's a different story. But be courteous. And particularly people who are very bad, be very careful, be simple, be courteous, so that they don't want to hurt you. That is courtesy. The next important thing is humility. What is humility? When you are very humble, when it is not about being meek, being timid, correct? Not being brave. No, that is not humility. Humility is the humbleness, the knowledge that even though you know a lot, even though you have a lot of confidence, still there is a lot to learn in life. Everybody in front of you can teach you something, is the question. Bhuvan Gowda raised his hand. If you have got a question, please type in the chat. That is humility. So that means, what is the source of this humility? The source is that fundamental realization that while you know a lot of stuff, still there is a huge amount of learning. Number one. Number two, every person can teach you something. Every person will know something more than you. Look in your own class. Suppose some people are very good at balancing books. Some people are very good at calculating, depreciation. Some people are very good at getting your, cash flow statements. Different skills, different aptitudes are there. Just because you can balance books very well doesn't mean that you have become the ultimate guy in the accounting. No. That is what you need to understand. Because commerce and finance are huge, vast subjects with a lot of specific areas. Somebody may be very good at GST, tax management. Somebody may be very good in something else, in investments. So these are the specific areas you have to focus and develop skills, but with the realization that that itself is not really the big picture. That itself is not going to complete the picture. You need to work with other people. That is where the humbleness comes into play. This is where the humility comes into play. Correct? So that is humility. Then comes initiative. This is completely contrary to what you guys usually practice in the class, correct? When professor asks you some question, what do you say? Exactly. We don't say anything. We are very quiet, very comfortable in the silence, because we don't want to expose ourselves or our weaknesses or whatever, and just keep quiet, sitting there, hoping that somebody else will answer something. And if that fellow is wrong, we can also laugh. That is not going to work in life. Most of the times, this is the biggest challenge for all the new employees or fresh graduates who get into the companies. They keep quiet. Nobody knows that this fellow exists. He is not talking. He is not exposing or expressing himself, expressing his ideas. That is the most important thing. You need to take initiative. You need to put that foot forward. Yes, sometimes it will be wrong. It's all right. It is just like learning the bicycle. If you want to ride a bicycle, you have to fall a couple of times, then only you will understand the balance. Simple. How many of you have learned cycling without falling down? Anybody? I would like to see yes in the chat. Or you can just say no. I'm monitoring the chat now. Anybody who, yeah, no, absolutely, Harris. Absolutely, Bhagya Jyoti. Correct. Yes, Hamsa. Yes, all of you. That's exactly how it is. Then why are you so worried about making a small mistake when you try something new? You have experienced that without making mistakes, some of the very critical things, that balancing on the bicycle is not an easy thing. You need to teach your brain to do that, the entire body to do that. And that will happen only by failing a couple of times, falling a couple of times. Same thing happens when you learn something new. Yes, Pawan. Yes, yes, Saran. Correct. So that is what it is. Never be worried about making a mistake. Even when you are, after 20 years, even if you are an executive, if you have to do something new, there could be a possibility of something going wrong, and it is okay. It is okay. I'm sure all of you have heard about Edison's experiments about light bulb. Unless only because he failed so many times, he was able to find the right material. That's how it works. There was one senior project manager in a construction company, very big company. So this guy had to order some equipment. He took a decision, and the decision went horribly wrong. Horribly wrong. The company made almost millions of dollars of loss because of that wrong decision. So entire company knew, okay, boss, this guy is going to now go. He is going to get fired any day because this is a criminal offense. I mean, this is too much of a loss for the company. Then as expected, the CEO of the company called him to the headquarters. So this poor fellow went there with all the project documentation, all the justification, whatever he has done. Then the CEO asked him, okay, what happened? Like, tell me. So this guy explained all the rationale, why he took the decision, what went wrong, all that story he told finally. Then the CEO said, okay, very good. You have done the great job. Thanks for the presentation. You can leave. I will let you know the next steps, instructions. And this guy was totally foxed. He says, sir, aren't you firing me? He said, no way. I trained you in such a beautiful way to manage some of these risks, spending millions of dollars. Now your next step is to go to all the locations of our constructions and factories and give the same presentation to all the managers, explaining them what happened, how you failed, why you failed, and what can be done to avoid that failure. That CEO knew the power of learning, because this guy will never forget what went wrong, why it went wrong. And he nicely analyzed it and understood and learned from his failure. That is the quality you need to develop. Making a mistake is not the issue. Learning from the mistakes is the most important thing in life, because all of us make mistakes. Correct? That is why initiative must be taken. That is how you start standing out in the crowd. Listening. Education system itself focuses on what are the skills? Reading, writing, speaking. But nobody taught us how to listen. So the whole focus is on communication. Communication is not out. Most of the communication is input. The moment you start exposing or expressing yourself in terms of a listener while being attentive, like responding to the chat. The moment I asked you, so many people responded. I felt so happy. Now that means people are not on WhatsApp or Facebook. They are here. That brings in that connectivity with the speaker, even when you do it on one-on-one basis. That is the listening. So how do you develop listening? What is listening? Listening is not for the sake of responding. Listening is to understand. Sometimes you don't even have to respond. Sometimes. When you start understanding clearly, then you start seeing the other person's point of view. When you see why the other person is saying what he or she is saying, you are in a better position to take a decision. All the guys in the session, you will have a serious conflict with your father, most of them. All the girls in the session, you will have a serious conflict with your mom. What is the biggest complaint you have against your mom? Can you put in the chat? What is the biggest complaint against your mom? It's not that it's all complaints, but I'm talking about if I ask you, what is one thing which you're not happy with mom? She always calls me perfect Shravani. Yes, Yashashwini. Yes, comparing with others, Bhagya Jyoti. Absolutely. Absolutely correct. Superb. Okay, guys, what is one thing which you're not happy about your father? Because girls are usually happy with daddy. Guys are usually happy with mommy. Correct. Yes, she always scolded me. Yeah, supporting. Okay. Yes, Shreyas. What is one thing you're not happy with your daddy? He won't let me go out. Perfect. Why? Because he knows what is happening outside. He is worried. He loves you. But then I don't listen to him sometimes. Absolutely, Gauri Shankar. It's the same problem. We don't listen to parents and we think that parents are not listening to us. That is the challenge. So when you feel protective, when you love the other person, you automatically start imposing your fears and your worries on the other people. Correct? That is the challenge. Yes, Amrita Varshini, you are a lady, so dad will support you. That's a different. I'm talking about girls with mom. There is a conflict always. Guys with father, there is always a conflict. That is the beauty of that relationship. Correct? That's how it is. Now, but then once you start understanding really why daddy is not allowing me to go out, why mommy is telling me to wear nice dresses or proper dresses, all these things, why she is not letting you put makeup, too much of makeup, all these things, you know why? There are certain societal biases. There are certain cultural values, upbringing values. I am not saying they are right or wrong. Please understand this. Correct? These are all cultural. There are some families where they start putting lipstick from the word go from 5-year-old onwards. Some families don't go. like lipstick. They don't just use it. So it's things like that. Correct? Now, why? These are all cultural upbringing. There are certain fears or values or prejudices which are associated with these behaviors. And that is what is driving. So unless you sit down, okay, what is that? Exactly, Apeksha. They know society more than you. They know what other people are saying about other people. They know what kind of image that is being created. And they are worried about you. That is why. So unless you carefully sit and listen and talk to them, it's not that they are going to approve it, but you start understanding why they say what they are saying. That's all it is. And we live in a dangerous world, end of the day. We have to accept that fact. Correct? Rather than putting ourselves in a situation where we are exposed to those dangers, we might as well avoid those situations. And that is where this whole discussion is happening. Right? That is about listening. So start listening to your mom and dad, not for accepting what they are saying per se, but understanding why they are saying what they are saying. Absolutely, they are taking more responsibility. Very true, Saran. And that is what. And if you do something wrong, who is the person who is to be blamed? The entire society is going to blame whom? Your parents. That is what you need to understand. You have to see the world. This is a very interesting thing, Bhagya Jyoti. Smart people learn from others' mistakes. Average people learn from own mistakes. Some idiots will never learn. Now, are you a smart person or an average person? That's the question. If you have to do all the mistakes yourself and learn, then life is not sufficient. Correct? You don't have to experience each and everything of the world. Good things, fine. Not necessarily the bad things. And they are more worried about the bad things. That is where we need to understand. Correct? So look at, read, not movies. Movies are fictional. Anything is possible there. But read life stories, read biographies, see what is actually happening in the world, and understand how people have reacted and learn from them. We have great leaders in India. We don't have to look outside. We have fantastic people like Dr. Kalam, Mahatma Gandhi, Lal Bahadur Shastri. There are so many anecdotes, Ratan Tata, all these people are there. Fantastic people who are exemplary. Their lives are an example. Understand how they are dealing with their simple people. Recently, there was a news that how Ratan Tata handled or dealt with his driver. Correct. How he handles his people. In fact, there was a famous story, I think it was J.R.D. Tata. There was always a complaint about the toilets in the factory, which are used by the normal employees, factory workers. But there was never a complaint about the officers' toilets. Absolutely, Kanavi, Sudhamurthy ma'am. So there was never a complaint on officers' toilets. So there are so many times people tried to rectify these workers' toilets that never got rectified. So this came into a discussion. And Jadi was sitting and he said, okay, how many 6 months pass, no resolution? Let me solve it in one day. What he did, he just changed the boards on those toilets. He made the officers' toilets as a worker toilet and worker toilet as officer toilet. What happened? Next day onwards, every damn thing was clean. Because now you have, the officer has to go there and use it, and he will ensure that it is clean, neat and clean. That is empathy. That is how people connect with other people. Then the next question is, the next item, empathy. This is where I was talking about this toilet example. Unless you really feel the pain, it is not about being sympathetic. Somebody passes away somewhere and the family is in trouble, you feel sympathy. You don't need empathy, because sympathy will only give lip service. You only make some comments and you say, "Arey, poor fellow," all that. It does not become a concrete action. When your feelings drive you to take positive action, feeling the real pain of that other person, that is when it is empathy. And that's what it is. In fact, one of my uncles, who is no more, whenever he was not doing well, and when people come and tell him, "Okay, uncle, please take care," he used to get very pissed off. "What do you mean take care? Obviously, I will take care of myself. What are you doing about it? Are you coming all the way here to just to tell me to take care?" So that is what I'm talking about. So what are you doing about that? Are you going to sit there, maybe, give some foot massage, or give a glass of water, give the medicines when it's required, whatever that is, in that 1 hour, half an hour time you are spending, be part of that life. Same is true for person, your classmate. One fellow is struggling. He is not able to figure out that balance sheet. Very easy to laugh at that fellow. But how many of you are willing to spend that half an hour, 1 hour explaining that fellow how to really crack that? That is empathy. And then you are going to build a very strong relationship. Most importantly, what is going to happen? Your concepts are going to become more clearer. The best way to learn anything is to explain it to somebody so that they understand and learn. So start doing this peer-to-peer learning. Correct? Do not worry whether you are going to be the number 1 or number 2 or class topper. That's an incidental thing. That's a byproduct. But the real class topper is the one who is the leader. Everybody is looking up to him. Everybody comes to him. "Hey, please tell me, please help me with this. I'm not able to solve this problem." That is the leader. I don't care whether this fellow is going to get 100% or 90% or 85%. When people are able to look up to you for help with the confidence that you are going to help them solve, you are a leader. And that is one very important trait you have to build right from now. Because this is one thing which is very critical as an employee. That is how other people start observing, other managers start observing, "Oh, this guy, he is the go-to guy. Everybody is going to him." So that means he is a natural leader and he also has a capability. These are the 5 most important interpersonal skills you must develop. How to develop them? That's the next question. And how do you remember this? Just remember Chile. Courtesy, humility, initiative, listening, empathy. And these are life skills, guys. If you are able to behave in this manner, you are going to be a fantastic human being, first of all. Then let us look at the next step of how to build them. I'm going to give you some activities which you may want to make note, and you can figure out some time in the day, either in the beginning of the day or end of the day or somewhere in the middle. Whenever you find time, please do these exercises. First one is attitude of gratitude. What is this? Always be grateful for everything that you have, for the food that you have, for the nice home that you have, for the education that you are receiving, for the teachers who are spending their time to teach you. Do not worry whether the teacher is a fantastic teacher or an average. That's not the question. They are doing their level best to help you. Now, use them and their abilities to you so that you become your best. Correct? That is the challenge you have. So that is the attitude of gratitude. So how do you do this? Every day, either morning or during lunchtime or sometime whenever you are spending peacefully sitting with yourself, take out that notebook and write down what are the 3 things you are very grateful for. It could be your mom, it could be your dad, it could be your friends, but need not repeat. Keep finding more and more things for which you are grateful for. And that is going to really make you realize that, oh, so many people are there in my life. So many things are there in my life, which are making my life comfortable, which are enabling me to progress in my life. That is the attitude of gratitude that automatically brings us that humility. And we start realizing how important other people are in life. Blessings review. Count your blessings. What is this? What are all the great things that are happening to you? Sometimes they are surprise, sometimes they are good. Keep counting them. Correct? Somebody may say, I got only 65%, whereas the other fellow got 85%. Don't worry about the other fellow getting 85%. First, you be happy and feel blessed that you got 65%. And then the next important thing is, oh, I got 65, that fellow got 85. So what am I missing? Because both of you are more or less the same background, same personality, or similar family background, similar, all these things. So what is that fellow doing additionally? So talk to him. So what are you doing? What are you studying? How much time are you studying? That is, are you watching any YouTube videos other than the class videos or class sessions? How are you practicing? That is, rather than considering that fellow as a competitor, make him a collaborator. That is the most important aspect of interpersonal skills. That is, you are able to work with other people. So it is always about collaboration. It is not about competition. Definitely not at the school level, college level. Second important, okay. The next thing is curiosity. So what is this curiosity? This is what will help you to listen better. Why this fellow is saying what he is saying. First of all, what is he trying to communicate? That is curiosity. Is there anything different? Toppers won't reveal their secrets of studying. Have you ever asked them, Ganavi? If he is just a topper, I agree with you. But if the topper is also a leader, he will tell you. And the second important thing is, how are you going to ask? Okay, fine. Then he is not the right person. He may be there for the sake of it, but that person is going to struggle. Because he is not in the habit of helping other people, he will also have the challenge of asking for help. You see the game there? And if you have never asked anybody for help, will you be comfortable giving help? Or if you have not given help, will you be able to come ask for help? That is the challenge. So leave them, find somebody else. It's not that there may be 185% guy, but there will be some 80% guy, there will be a 70% guy. And if you are struggling with 50, 60%, that fellow will help you. That is how you have to see. And don't only stick to your current class. There are a lot of other people outside, your seniors, maybe somebody in the family. So many people are there. The question is, are you willing to ask for help? Number one. Are you willing to go out of your comfort zone and ask for help? Number two. That is where interpersonal skills are important. What if they give wrong answers? Yeah, you know. Life is not going to end with one examination, correct? Apeksha? And how much time does... If that answer is wrong, once you have come home after and implemented, it is not working, that means that they have deliberately tried or they don't know. Either way, next time you don't have to go there. Life is good. Don't take any advice at the face value. That is the challenge here, Apeksha. Oh, he said, so that's why it must be true. No, you come home, you try it out. It's not working. That means there is something missing. Either you have not listened properly, or the complete solution has not been given, etc., etc. How to ask without making them feel uncomfortable? Exactly, Navya. That is the whole focus. That is the focus of the session. That is why interpersonal skills are important. You first of all have to be comfortable in asking. If you are uncomfortable, they will also feel uncomfortable. You would have heard, world is a mirror of our feelings. Are you comfortable in asking first of all? In fact, most of the aspects what we are discussing are internally driven because they are all behaviors, correct? And if I am not feeling comfortable asking, that other fellow senses it. Other person senses it and he also becomes uncomfortable. Suppose you are very comfortable in asking, that sounds. Pawan, you have already done that. I'm not even assuming that you have not tried. You have tried, it's not working, that's why you are asking, correct? If you have not done that, then that's wrong. It should not be like, that's what happens. When a child runs with the problem to daddy or mummy, mummy, I'm not able to, please help me. Mummy should not do all the math for the kid. Mummy should only ask him, correct? The right kind of parents ask, okay, what are you going to do? Why are you doing this? What happens if you do that? Do you think that's the right way? All the questions. And they help the children develop their own answer and their own thinking. That's what happens. That's what should happen. This is where the analytical skills come into play. Correct? And if the fellow gives you a solution straight away, what happens to you? You just got the solution for that particular problem, but you don't know how to solve the problem. So objective is not to find a solution. Objective is to understand how to solve the problem. So you see the huge difference. The problem is 95% of the times we only want a solution. Because tomorrow we have to submit the assignment. So suddenly we realize today evening that tomorrow is the deadline. Then suddenly all WhatsApp messages are flying around. Hey, what to do, how to do, how to do. Hey, just send me the solution, man. We'll figure it out later. What? That later will never happen. Because you are not understanding the problem properly. Sharon Tej says, what if the opposite person is not comfortable with us? Absolutely correct. Suddenly you cannot walk into a stranger and say, please help me. No, it doesn't work. That means, most importantly, how are you treating that person? How are you working with that person? How are you behaving with that person? Is there a working relationship? Have you ever helped anybody? Because people understand, people know. If I ask you, Sharon or Pawan or anybody, do you know who is the person who helps other people in your class? Guaranteed you will know. Correct? All of you know. There are a few people who are always willing to help. That is what I'm talking about. First, create that image for yourself. You start helping other people, not necessarily with the problems or with the subject, whatever way it is. The moment people understand Navya is always a helping person, they also respond, oh, okay, you are a nice person, you keep helping everybody, let me also help you. Because you have already set up that expectation that if they need something, you are always going to be there to help. Because you always help anyway, other people. Not just because they helped you, even without any help, you are willing to help. Correct, Harshita? That is what you need to understand. So it is about your attitude and your behavior, which is going to set up that situation. That is the most important aspect of interpersonal skills. It's all about internal, how you reflect about your behavior, how you project your behavior, your insecurities, your worries, your problems. That is what is going to come out. Correct? For example, if somebody has always been telling you that you are a useless fellow, what happens when somebody tells you that? Immediately it triggers a reaction. You become aggressive because there is a built-in baggage internally. You need to understand that. That will happen only when you start analyzing how you are behaving. It is not about other people, guys. Please understand. It is about your behavior, about how you are dealing with other people. Excellent. We are doing very well on time. So that is about curiosity. So that means you need to be curious about, it is not about who is friending his or her friend on the Facebook. It is not about which WhatsApp group he or she is in. No, that's not the curiosity. It is about how they are able to solve the problems. It is about their approach. It is about how they are responding to certain things in the class or in the life or whatever. Not only the topper, even there are some people who are good at that particular problem. We can exactly, Sandhya. That's what I was telling you. See, guys, what happens is sometimes some of these toppers tend to become arrogant. Leave them. Don't bother about it. Because our objective is what? Not to beat the topper or not to be the topper. To understand the problem and how to solve it. That's all. Once you start working on that, whether topper or not is not really going to matter. End of the day, marks are just marks. Treat them like that. Nothing more, nothing less. Correct? They are important only to a certain point of time, yes, but they are also reflect the way you have got them. That should be the one. Because tomorrow, if you go there as a topper and the problem is given and you're not able to solve, then what kind of topper are you? That means you are just mugged up the textbook and you know only what is there in the textbook. You're not able to apply that in the real world. That is a difference. That is the difference between a topper and a smart learner. The smart learner always focuses on how to arrive at the solution, not so much about the answer. Because the answer can always be figured out. But if your steps to the solution are correct, that's fantastic. Then you can solve many problems, not just one problem. So you need to develop the thinking. So curiosity is about the approach to the problem, listen to that approach, note down the steps, and ask why that step is required. Because what happens, we tend to skip those steps sometimes. And that will create a problem for us. Correct? If you are making sambar, you need to ensure that the dal is cooked first. But if you just, without checking that, if you put it in the sambar, what happens? Sambar is not going to be great. Even if you put all the right ingredients, all the right vegetables. That is why each and every step is important. That's where curiosity helps. Achievement journal. This is another very important element which will keep our self-esteem. Because unless we feel good about I'm not about feeling great, feeling good about ourselves, that yes, we are not such a useless character. We are good. We know we have achieved certain things. All of you have achieved certain things. What? You have successfully completed your primary education. All of you know how to read, write, and speak. All of you know you have completed your high school board exams successfully. Obviously, that's why you are in a graduation. And you're doing well. Yeah, may not be fantastic, but you're doing well. These are all your achievements. Do not worry, everybody is not the same. But can you be the best of what your ability is? So always focus on the achievement journal. Always keep writing that. What you have achieved today, what kind of difficult problem you are able to solve today. Are you able to help somebody with the right approach or right guidance? Could be somebody junior, could be one of the youngsters in your family. Are you doing that? See, some of you are complaining about some seniors or toppers not being understanding and not being helpful. Are you helpful to your younger siblings, your brothers and sisters? Are you helping them? Or are you throwing tantrums? Oh, I am very busy. Don't disturb me now. Do your homework. And what are you so busy with? You know what? That is the same thing which reflects. Why that is happening? Because now you have built a complex inside that nobody is helping me. Why should I help somebody? Including my own brother and sister. The moment you fix this, that gets fixed. It's the attitude which reflects, which projects itself outside, that you cannot change. And you can only develop this by working with your family. So start listening. I'm not talking about following each and everything. I'm talking about listening to your mom and dad peacefully without getting into an argument. Just listen. Start helping your brothers and sisters or youngsters. Start helping other students in your class. It fundamentally transforms you. Another important thing what you must do is participate in various inter-college competitions, or even within the college, whether it is a debate competition or whatever competition, elocution, all these soft skills get developed there. All these important skills, I won't even call them soft skills. All these communication skills, all these things will get developed. And most importantly, how people are responding will teach you a lot. Some people try to always pull you down. Some people will try to always take your point and project it to a higher level. Some people come with a solution. Some people only point problems in your argument. All these aspects help you when you start understanding how to do that. These are your practice grounds. Okay, how do you handle questions after a presentation? So achievement journal, keep writing it at least once a week. What are the besties every day? What are the 3 things I was able to finish today? Complete. I completed my assignment. Fantastic. You're completed. Whether you get a plus or B minus, that's a secondary thing. That becomes an analysis aspect. But we are able to complete it before the deadline without requesting professor for extension. That is the important aspect. Correct. When I was doing my MBA, I just did it about 7 years ago. Same thing. I used to finish off all my assignments well in advance so that I was never under pressure to do something in the last minute. That used to give me a lot of opportunity to work on it properly, analyze it, and do that. Start doing that. Then learning journal. What is this learning journal? Don't just follow your syllabus and say, today we have learned balance sheet. Today we have learned this one. Today we have learned something. Correct? Yes, Saran. Very good. And that's not that. What mistake you have done and what have you learned out of that mistake? I don't want to call it a mistake journal because that sounds very negative, correct? But I want you to call it a learning journal. What you have learned. What did not work as you have planned and what you have learned out of it. How you have rectified that. That is the focus of learning journal. It is not about copying the table of contents of your textbook. Sorry, that's not what learning journal is. Correct? That is more of a learning schedule or a timetable for the professor. How you have solved, what did not work in a particular scenario and how you have learned it. That is your learning journal. What is happening here, when you write it down, it gets embedded. Otherwise, it may tend to disappear. So those are the insights I want you to capture. So that is the learning journal. Then comes morning pages. This is a fantastic tool. Lot of senior people do this. And when I taught this to our young graduates who just joined out of college, most of them really loved it. What happens here is it clears your mind. What you have to do, just to take a paper, normal A4 sheets, or make a notebook. I would prefer a single paper because you can destroy it once you write it. Yeah, this is not to be kept. What you are going to write here, it is all the nonsense thoughts, whatever thoughts that come to you. Just write, hey, today, you know what? Saran did not speak to me properly. You know, the topper is an idiot. That fellow never helps me. That professor never gives me more than B plus. Whatever things that come to you, just keep writing, 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 writing. Finish off one page, finish off 2 pages, more than enough. If you can write a 3rd page also, go ahead. Once you do this, what do you do with this paper? No, not to be filed and kept safely. This is, you have to treat it just like what comes out to your body in the morning. Crap. Tear it and throw it. Because you will be writing a lot and you may burn it also. Some people even try that. Navya. No, don't throw just like that. Because somebody catches that, you have got a lot of some intimate thoughts on that, that becomes nonsense. Tear it off. And best burn it off. Life is good. You know what happens because of this? Just the way your body feels like after going to the loo, your mind also feels fresh and empty. All the tensions and all the insecurities, all the nonsense that you keep gathering throughout the day is washed out for, and you are fresh. And keep doing it every day. Do it religiously for 3 months and you see a fantastic difference in your way of life. Lot of these unnecessary attitudes, unnecessary confusions, all these things just go away. You start accepting and taking people as they are on that day. Otherwise, what happens? All our reactions are based on the past. I remember, you know what, Navya, when I asked you for a pen in the examination, you refused to give me. And that happened when 6 months ago. And because Navya had only one extra pen and she couldn't share it with you, and you did not carry your extra pen to the examination, suddenly you start blaming Navya. Correct? But that happened 6 months ago. So why should that 6 months old story influence your relationship with Navya today? Or something else, That is what I want you to get rid of. The moment you start writing it on that, all this nonsense, first 3, 4, 5 days, your pages will be full, guaranteed. Because we have so much trash in our head. Same thing happened to me when I started this. Fresh. And suddenly after 1 week, you start struggling what to write. And if you're not able to complete a page, congratulations. You have achieved something. Your mind is now much clearer, much fresh, and you are ready to build relationships, willing to listen. All these things happen. So morning pages are very, very important, guys. Please start writing them. Right, even today. Best thing is early morning, but even today you can write it in the evening also. Because if you write it in the morning, your day is, you are ready for the day. So these are some of the things you can. I sing to relax moment. Please go ahead and sing, Saran. No issues. That's not a question. I'm not talking about hobbies here. These are all psychologically proven techniques to relax your mind. Singing, reading, praying, take your mind away for some time. Please understand, you're creating a space where you don't have to think this. You stop thinking this, but the moment you stop singing, what happens? Same story repeats. So unless until you throw it out, your mind is not clear. That is what we are talking about. And resilience to fail. This is where the initiative comes into play. Do not worry about failure, guys, as we discussed. Okay? And the moment you are willing to fail, there is no stopping. You can achieve anything. Most of us, we don't even try because we are worried of failing. Oh, if I fail, I know what Shashank will say. That's what I'm worried about. Correct? I am giving so much importance to Shashank's opinion about me rather than my future, my success, my hard work, and my learning. Stop that. I'm not saying you don't care about others. I'm talking about stop caring or getting influenced by others' opinions. In fact, most of the very well-wishers and good people who care about you are most of the times are telling you not to do some risky things. And they may be important because they know their worldview is conventional. They only go in this way. They know this. That's the success formula. The moment you want to change the success formula, they are worried because they have not seen it working. That is their experience. But you want to create a different experience, but you need to be careful about that. You need to understand the risks also, not blindly going out. Yeah, mom is always saying that I'm going to be outside at till 11 o'clock, 11:30 in the night because all my friends are there. All your friends may be having nice cars to pick them and drop them safely. You may not have. What happens to you? These are the challenges. And do not ever move out without a proper ensured protection. Be careful. Now, these are the resilience to fail. That is how you build your muscle. That is how you become more, take more initiative, project your leadership skills. Okay, now let us look at other employability skills. We have spent a lot of time on interpersonal skills. What are the employability skills? First is agility. What is agility? Your willingness to quickly change the direction and adapt. Most of the students have demonstrated fantastic agility when pandemic happened and lockdown happened. Everybody moved on to online. We are now very happy with Zoom, webinars, left, right, center, colleges, classes are happening, exams are happening, everything happening. Agility, correct? Business analysis. You must not only understand the accounting and finance aspects, but in what business, how that works. The way accounting is done in an IT company is very different from a logistics company. The way they do it in a pharma company is very different. All these things are aspects, are different. To do our job, smart work and hard work. Yes, sir. We have to work smart, but how will you know how to work smart? You have to work hard first. You have to try a lot of things. Then you will figure out what is the right way, what is the smartest way, easiest way of doing. That is when you become a smart worker. Suddenly you don't apply a formula. Because suddenly if you apply that formula, if something goes wrong, you don't know what has gone wrong. So smart work will evolve out of your hard work and practice. That is what you have to understand. That is why senior people who have done it are able to do it very fast, very quickly, because they have learned it the hard way. They know how to catch that mistake if something goes wrong. In which area usually the mistakes are. Correct. That is business analysis. You don't understand only your commerce or finance, but you also start understanding how finance and commerce and accounting, everything works in a specific domain, specific industry. How it is done in the retail, how it is done in pharma, how it is done in IT, how it is done. That is where you have to become more industry focused and domain focused. Communication. Obviously, we have been talking about it is more listening and also expressing it in a logical manner. That happens only when you practice well. Design thinking. What is design thinking? When you are able to think from another person's user's point of view. It's not just about designing a form and giving it to people to fill. It is about designing a form so that other people are able to understand and fill correctly. And most of the finance forms are a big headache. How can you improve them? Think about it. Emotional intelligence, we already talked about empathy. This is where you start understanding yourself. Then you start understanding the way you are reacting. Then you start feeling for people. Then you start understanding how people are feeling and then come up with a solution so that those feelings are taken care of. It's not about pleasing everybody, but it is about being fair, doing the right things. Correct? That is emotional intelligence. How to develop this emotional intelligence? There is one very nice technique which developed by Yale University in USA. These guys, what they do is, they ask children, they ask students to create your best self, best persona. For example, okay, we have been talking a lot about Saran. Let me take one more name. Okay, let us say Shashank. Now, Shashank, if I ask Shashank, what is the best way? What is your best self? Correct? So if Shashank is ideal Shashank, how will he behave? Correct? What is your ideal self and behavior? So that means what? You are always doing the right things. If that is the person, and you are a normal person, but there is an ideal person. So ideal Sridhar will handle it this way. Normal Sridhar will handle it this way. So the moment you start thinking from that ideal Sridhar or ideal Shashank or ideal Saran, then the right things will start coming out. What is the right way to handle this? What would I do if I am in my right frame of mind? So that is what I want you to start practicing, thinking about it before doing anything. Then comes focus. This is one of the biggest casualties thanks to our social media, smartphones. There are things happening, so many things are happening. So unless until your phones are on silent, unless until you are not even looking at the phone for some time, you will not be able to focus on that. How do you develop this? There is a technique called the Pomodoro technique. That is, just work focused on 25 minutes and then take a forced break for 5 minutes. Get out of the chair, look at your social media, whatever, but only 5 minutes. You switch it off, come back, again work on the problem for 25 minutes. Again, take 5-minute break. Some people say 25 minutes is too much. I want to do it only for 15 minutes. Okay, do it. I'm fine with that. But 25 minutes is justifiable because even if a phone call comes, you can always relax for 25 minutes, not 30 minutes, 25 minutes, and then call back. So that is how, so that urge to respond to something immediately will go away. Sometimes you don't even have to respond to some of them. That's the beauty. Correct? Why is emotional intelligence so important? Yes, Kavya. This is important because unless I understand how you are feeling emotionally about a particular problem, I will not be able to listen to you properly. I will not be able to focus on what is the challenge you are actually facing. The outward emotion may be anger, but why are you angry? Is it because you just don't like me? Or is it because whatever I said triggered some bad feeling because of the past experience and that is what is being reflected? That why. Understanding that why is the most important part of emotional intelligence. But as I already told you, what is the first thing to be understood? Self. Unless until I understand myself, I am not in a position to understand anybody else. Because all my reactions are the reflections of my inner self. That is the whole core of emotional intelligence. That itself is a huge discussion. I'm just touching here. Most probably the things which people say and are triggered by, absolutely. Triggered by not only them, triggered by their past experiences and prejudices, their understandings. That's correct, Shashank. So unless until I understand why am I saying this, it becomes very difficult for me. Sometimes I won't even realize that. The moment why am I always aggressive whenever any girl comes and talks to me, for example, just giving an example. Because maybe I'm worried, maybe I'm insecure, I'm scared of talking to girls. So how do I counter that? I become aggressive. I avoid them. I say, hey, get lost. I don't want to talk to you. Internally, what is actually, I don't want to listen The same thing from the other person. If she tells me that I don't want to talk to you, I feel very hurt. So rather than that, I say that myself, but still feel bad about it. Correct. So that is the residual feeling is the most important aspect here, Shashank. All right. So that is about focus. Remember from Pomodoro technique. Then comes growth mindset. Never accept that you don't know something. What you have to say, I don't know this yet. I have to learn it. Otherwise, what happens? We start avoiding those difficult things and stay comfortable. That's why all of us can get about 65% very easily, but we will not get that additional thing. The additional knowledge, I'm not talking about marks. Correct? That same thing happened to me when I was in college. The professor where I learned, went to tuition, he completely avoided calculus. I'm talking about 12th. Totally avoided calculus. He said, you focus on circle, you focus on differentiation, all these things, you will be able to get through. You will get your engineering seat. I got my engineering seat, but that lack of comfort with calculus and set theory troubled me for a long, long time. So never end up there. If you don't know something, handle it. Take help, seek help, work with other people and learn. That is growth mindset. Honesty, it's pretty straightforward. Most importantly, if you are not able to do something, say so. Life is simple. Rather than setting an expectation, okay, I will do this, and you forget about it. I'm sure it would have been happening very frequently. Whether it is paying the electricity bill or paying something else, this is one of the most important aspects they keep showing in the advertisements today for all the payment gateways. Who is using the payment gateway? The youngster. Daddy or mummy or somebody is upset that the payment has not been done, but suddenly he says, okay, ho gaya, it is done now. But why you want to take it even to that? So be very clear. If you have got too many things happening, be very open that, boss, not this week, I will do it next week. So depending on the urgency, other person will take the necessary decision. Okay, Shashank says, how can I improve my conversation skills or techniques, and how can I face path 3 like you? This is a filler word. You have to avoid using first. Okay, Shashank, it needs to be practiced. Understand why you are using that like so many times. Not required. Improving conversation starts with listening. You need to bring that ability to see, I came here, I am able to speak like this only because of my 30 years of experience, and I have been a trainer and a learner. Learning has become part and parcel of my life. Speaking has become part and parcel of my life. But what I have done is, in 2007, I started attending Toastmasters sessions. And that is where I picked up all these nice skills, simple techniques, which help in improving these sessions. So improving the delivery, improving your thinking process, all these things. Correct. So those are the techniques. We can have a separate session on improving the specific how to improve these communication skills. Is a completely different ball game altogether. Okay, so you can do that. Toastmasters Club is a thing. I don't know whether you guys may have it or there or not. You can simply pick up those techniques and we can start practicing those in your college, even if it is not formally a Toastmaster Club. That itself is going to give you a lot of benefits. Next, let me see if I can give that tip once I finish my session. Entrepreneurship. This is what people are looking for in the companies. That means your initiative, your willingness to do something new, something different in the company, being part of those projects. But that will happen only if you start doing it in the college. Correct? We talked about Toastmasters Club. Somebody has to come forward, some group of students, okay, we want to do that. Then faculty will come and support you. Suppose faculty will come and support you, then what happens? It becomes another class. It starts with a bloody attendance register. No, that's not what it is. When you come forward and you start doing, then faculty sees you guys are serious, they will start adding value. That is how you have to do. If everybody is waiting for somebody to do something, nothing is going to happen in the world. That is entrepreneurship. Judgment, the right kind of judgment. What is the right thing? What is the wrong thing? What is the right thing to do? Starting from breaking a red light, starting from wearing a helmet, all these things, they are all your behaviors. Based on what? Your internal conversation. So fix that first, all these things will start happening. Knowledgeable. I'm not saying that you have to forget about your textbooks or, all the core knowledge. You have to know them thoroughly. You have to know them thoroughly. If you say I am a BCom graduate and I don't know how to balance sheet, then you have got a problem. Correct? You should know the difference between CFO and CFI. You should be able to post. You should be able to derive your P&L out of that. All these things must happen. And unless you do, that must be there. That is a given. But that in itself, in isolation, will not help. All these other things also must come through. And most importantly, leadership. Your ability to take initiative, your ability to gather people to do something good. Do something positive in a right way. That is leadership. It is not about taking a couple of flags and shouting and closing the college or fund some protest. I'm not talking about that. Are you doing only that? Or are you actually solving the problem? Are you working with the management to solve the problem? That is important. Then everybody starts looking at you as a problem solver, not just as a problem creator. That problem creation is not leadership. Problem solving is leadership. Yes, Sandhya, confidence. Confidence comes from where? From the knowledge that you are able to do, not just the feeling that you can do. That means you have to keep doing things to become confident. That is it, guys. Thank you so much for your patient listening. We have about 10-15 minutes of Q&A. Lot of questions have been coming through. Thank you so much for this. I mean, I really felt connected. So many questions and so many comments I have been able to see. Saran, Sandhya, all people, Shashank, beautiful. Any other question, please go ahead. Any other questions? And you can see my contact information on the screen. Best thing is get in touch with me on LinkedIn, stay connected. I keep posting stuff there. You can also interact with me there. Any other questions?
Yes, students, do you have any question? Mention your question in the chat box.
Would you please talk more about the Toastmasters Club? Correct, Navya. Let me address that. The Toastmasters Club has got more than 12,000 chapters across the world. It's a beautiful training ground for people who want to improve their public speaking skills. Don't worry about public speaking. Speaking skills itself can be improved. You can note down these 3 techniques, essentially, which all of us have. These are the basic mistakes in our speech. First thing is avoiding filler words or repeat words. What are these filler words or repeat words? As I was telling you, like, and unnecessary usage of and. Right. Sometimes even people use a total phrase also. Why are we using them? Because when we are speaking, the mind is looking for the next word, and in that space, we are uncomfortable with that silence. That is where subconsciously we start supplying those unnecessary words to get a sense of fluency. fluency is not about speaking fast, but somebody somewhere told us, or we listened to a radio jockey on the FM radio, and we thought, oh, that is the way we have to speak. Then how do I speak when I'm struggling for words? I start putting this. Basically, actually, all these things are useless because without them, the sentence is still fine. I am from Guntur. Okay. Basically, I am from Guntur. What is the big difference between these two? Basically is a filler. So you need to start that. What you have to do when you are sitting in the class, start just capturing individual. Whenever anybody is speaking, start capturing mentally. What are those filler words? You don't have to tell the other person, hey, you have made 15 hands and 16 likes, not required. It is for you. Why? When you start doing that, your subconscious mind start understanding that they are not required and you don't have to use them. Okay. When you are able to catch your own filler words, that's the first improvement. Because catching filler word in the other person, it will take some time for you because you are not listening properly till now. It is going to tremendously improve your listening skill, listening with concentration. So filler word. Second one is Why people say that? Actually, yeah, you know what? I wanted to talk to you about the interpersonal skills. You know what is happening here? All those things are filler. Actually, what I want to say, I wanted to talk to you about interpersonal skills. That's it. But to get that out, I had to do so many fillers. Some people do that. There is a famous actor in Andhra Pradesh. If he, in 25 minutes of speech, 20 minutes will be only that. Very few words will be there. How do you develop that? That means you are thinking fast, that ability, and be comfortable with that space. Have you seen me rushing through anything? Need not. When you prepare well, when you know your topic, there is no pressure. I was only looking at my watch to ensure that we are finishing it in 1.5 hours. That's the only reason for looking at watch. Otherwise, I'm not pressed for things because I know exactly what I'm going to talk to you. Okay, so that is all thing. Yeah, Saran, you can send an SMS, WhatsApp message. It's then we will figure out when to talk. Because if you suddenly call and if I don't know where I may be busy, then I will not be able to pick up the call. Okay, so this is how you set up the Toastmasters and have sessions. Let people talk and everybody is noting down the filler words, then grammatical mistakes. All the grammar we have all learned by 10th class. There is no extra grammar to be learned. But grammar is not the English. Grammar is only the structure. And how do you avoid that? You bring sentence structures. You remember the complete phrases and just repeat them. Then you don't have to think about it. You don't have to construct the sentence on the fly. And most importantly, write. Every day when you write your paragraph, morning page, and check for grammatical mistakes in that, it is going to give you a lot of help. So these are the 3 things which you must do. Sit together, 15-20 people come together every day or whichever way it works. Once in a week, people start talking on a small topic, and everybody else are doing this one. Filler words capture, capture, grammatical mistake capture. Just to do this, within a month, you start seeing your own filler words coming down. It's a proven technique, guaranteed technique, successful technique. Thank you. Thanks for asking that. Any other questions? Chaitra ma'am, over to you.
Sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I guess no more questions, sir. If any question is there, we'll send to your mail. So kindly touch with that. So, sir, really, it's a very wonderful and very informative session. Thank you for that. And our students will really utilize this session for uplifting their future. Now, I would like to request Mrs. K. Sridevi and Prabhu, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce and Management, to render a vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
It's rightly said that be thankful for what you have got, you will end up having even more. So now it's time to be thankful for this session too. Good morning, one and all. I'm Mrs. Sridevi Prabhu, Assistant Professor from Department of Commerce. On behalf of whole fraternity of Sheshadrapuram Degree College, Mysuru, take the privilege of proposing the vote of thanks for this virtual power seminar. On the first hand, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our today's resource person, Flight Lieutenant Sridhar Chakravarti, sir, Chief Executive Officer, Coach for Change ICT Academy, for enlightening all of us on developing interpersonal skills and employability skills for our future. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
I thank Mr. Prajwal Vasishta, ICT Academy Coordinator, and his whole team for support in organizing this informative session for all the students. Thank you. I thank Professor Soumya Irapake, Principal Sheshadrapuram Degree College, Mysuru, for her continuous support in all our endeavors. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am.
I thank all our dear students and the students from all other different colleges for participating actively in this webinar. Thank you, dear students. A sincere thanks to all the teaching and non-teaching staff for their support in organizing this webinar. Thank you, one and all. The feedback link is put up in the chat box. All the students are hereby requested to kindly fill the feedback link. Thank you, students.
All right, ma'am. Can I take your leave, please, then? All the best, students. Do well. Stay safe. Thank you.